Hi everyone, it's Fitz with your daily delivery. I hope you are well. I am good. Yes, I know I'm not in the right place. We got fall camp reports being recorded all week long for the Big 12 insiders from every school. It's going to be great content on that channel. But I've got the set totally flipped to it right now. I need to start in the morning. Had one scheduled tonight that didn't work out because of me. I had some stuff pop up, but we're ready to go tomorrow. And I'm ready to go with this DD in this unique spot because I'm going to talk about depth. And that's exactly what the Big 12 has in terms of good football teams. But that's what Chris Klieman's football team now finds itself with. And if you've been following K-State sports, not nearly as long as me probably, but just within the last 10 years, you know depth has been something that has hurt this program through the years, or lack thereof, and now it seems to be getting fixed. Finally. First, your reminder, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up, leave those comments. Thank you so much. Man, it's been a long journey for K-State football in terms of trying to rebuild the roster. If you recall, when Chris Klieman took over from Bill Snyder, there were some depth issues on this team. Recruiting had dropped off, and honestly, some of the players just weren't up to Big 12 level. So they had to go through a process of kind of weeding guys out, moving things through, and it really kind of came to a head during the pandemic season of 2020, and they realized they just have some guys that aren't suited for this program or maybe even this level. And they made some adjustments. And since then, they've been on a slow build, trying to get that depth up. Last year, they had great quarterback depth. We all know that. They'd even had pretty good offensive line depth. But they started to run out of linebackers. The receiver core wasn't ever quite as good as they hoped, and running back was good because DJ Giddens got really good last year. On the defensive side, they had some depth here and there, but again, they just didn't quite have enough. Times have changed in Manhattan. We got to thinking about depth, and I asked Van Malone about it a little bit, and they have incredible depth on that defensive side. At least they feel so. Van, of course, coaches the cornerbacks in addition to being the assistant head coach. And he likes what he's got at corner. He's got two really good ones in Keenan Garber and Parrish. But you know what? They needed some more behind them, and they feel like they're developing that. Safety, they've got a pure two deep, at least, if not more. Defensive end, they have a three deep, according to Buddy Wyatt when we talked to him, and maybe three deep plus. They might have 7 guys capable of stepping on the field on Saturdays. They're going to have to fight for every snap. And they all want to be on the pass rush team, he said, because they all want those stats to be all Big 12. And he said they've got some DNs that are more than capable of getting conference accolades. That's pretty cool. Nose tackles building up some depth. And, of course, we're worried about linebacker again this season, and they might be getting that depth. It looks like they've got a pretty decent two deep right now. Of course, they ripped through that at middle linebacker in quick fashion last year, but Austin Romaines made a breakthrough. They brought in the Marino kid from New Mexico, and he's helped out a lot, and so has the emergence of Terry Kirksey back there at middle linebacker. So they've got some depth there. Offensive line is probably the thinnest group in terms of proven depth. They've got some young guys that are coming along and can provide that depth, but they've kind of settled into their starting 5, and maybe their rotation of 7 or 8 is getting pretty close. Quarterback, well, Avery Johnson and the rest of the guys, but bringing in Taquan Roberson really helps. Jacob Knuth has pushed the envelope this fall and really made some progress. Adding, of course, Dylan Edwards behind DJ Giddens and Joe Jackson and others in the running back spots really helped. Tight end, they're extremely deep despite the loss of Ben Sinnott. I really like that group of players. And receiver, well, honestly, this is the best receiving core, both in terms of playmakers and depth, that Chris Klieman has had at K-State. The depth is there. They can probably withstand some injuries. But you know this as well as I. Whatever spot you leave thin on your roster, that's the spot that piles up the injuries. So we'll see if that's offensive line or some other place. But for now, as the Wildcats continue to prepare for the 2024 season, which is just a few weeks away, depth is looking deep. Does that make sense? I'm not even sure. What am I doing over here?